Welcome, LeLeeson here. Thank you for joining me. This is my first proper official YouTube video that I've recorded. I have been doing live over the past 2-3 weeks just to give it a blast and see how it goes, doing war on my alt account. But I think it's time I now make a video going over who am I, the project I've been creating, which is a lot of people has already seen, and thirdly, YouTube plans, like what do I want to do? Because I'm not too sure, and I think I'll get carried away with it as I naturally do. I will start it and then I'll probably want to do more, but we'll see how it goes. But before we crack on with all of that, let's first go over on who on earth is LeLeeson. Because a lot of people won't know, and a lot of people will know, especially new players. Old players will do, and some players from previous games, previous game, Rise of Kingdoms, which I played for 4 or 5 years. Very good game. I really enjoyed it, but my time with that game is now over. After Call of Dragons was released, it was very obvious which game was superior in how much you would enjoy it in a fight. Rise of Kingdoms is great, however, once you're opened to Call of Dragons and the mechanics of the game, yeah, I'm not too sure how many people stay over there. And I don't get why a lot of people do, but hey, each to their own. But I did play that game for 4 or 5 years, really enjoyed it. I did play in 1093 at one point before leaving, and then I did leave and play the beta in Call of Dragons. I have played Call of Dragons for quite a while now, as I said, mentioned from the beta. I did have a quick break, but I have played for the most part of the game's release. I have done leadership before Call of Dragons in Rise of Kingdoms, and I've done it near enough ever since I've been in Call of Dragons. I was the first king in 358, which is doing very well now, and then I did recently help bring a project together as a restart in 401, which is still doing, I say still, it's just started, it's doing very well, it's in its first KVK, looks like it will win it, and it's a very promising server. So, thumbs up to 401. I stepped down from 401 very, very recently to focus on the project which I am doing now, which is Crowned in Blood, which I will now touch on. So Crowned in Blood, what is it? Why should I mention it? It's a restart project, but for new accounts. This isn't for old accounts looking for a restart like we just did in 401. This is mainly for the newer player and the older player who's bored, or the older player which is trapped. There is so many old players which don't even make it to Season of Strife, which I'm so surprised about. And speaking to them, especially in the project where they've played the game for 1.5, 2 years, and they've only done to Season 3. And there can be many reasons for that, but still, it's very poor considering like how much better the game is once you get to the end. How much you can relax from doing the day-to-day must-do activities to make sure your server is on point in Season 1. Getting to Season of Strife, you know, it's chill until it's wartime. Once it's wartime, that's the best time. Once you're not in the best time, you can relax and just chill and just farm up and do whatever you need to do. But a lot of people don't make it there, and it's very surprising to me. So what this project will do is help the new person get to endgame and help the old people, or the older accounts I should say, get to the end game for the first time and build T5, because that should be everyone's goal. Get to the end game, build T5, enjoy fighting, don't get stomped on. So this project will help do that. Why do the project? It is, of course, to do that, and it's also to build an efficient kingdom which operates very effectively, doing a lot of the basics which most servers do not do. Most servers don't do the basics of clear communication, voice communication, a community-driven server where you have a Discord where people can speak to you outside of the game, as well as any interactions, play different games, movie nights, whatever it may be. A lot of servers don't do a lot of these basics which help bring people together. So what I want to do is build a community where everyone can feel like they belong and get along and build a strong camaraderie. The vision as well for the project, we will start off in server 801 or so. That is the target at the moment, but a lot of this does depend on server timings as they do fluctuate quite a lot. And when we start, we will start with 3 alliances: Crowned in Blood, Crowned in Ashes, and Crowned in Chaos, to take over the server. And Season 1 shouldn't be a problem. And then going into Season 2, this all really does depend on migration as well, as it has been changing the rules between the servers. We will then possibly bring in migrants and build a very strong server for Season 2. And then once we go into Season 2, the plan should be a 1 versus 3, because you don't get much competition in the early seasons. So there should be no reason why we can't do this, unless there is someone who is very strong. Then that would be great. But we are looking to be a very active, dominant PvP alliance. If people do not want to do PvP, I don't recommend you join this project. It ain't going to be for you. You're going to join it after 1 or 2 seasons. You're going to get booted. This is going to be a project which has requirements. You must meet the requirements. If you don't meet the requirements, it doesn't matter that it's early game. We're here to build a strong, active server, a strong, active project, and everyone has to meet the minimum requirements. And once this is attained, this will then build a stronger server for us and a stronger project. So it's a quick brief on what to expect. Very active, very clear communication, clarity on what we're doing. We have nothing to hide in the leadership. If we have anything to hide, most likely it will come to light and people will leave anyways. So the goal is a well-built server which will go to the end game. And once we get into Season of Strife, of course, everyone will start building, start bringing in their main accounts. I have here my main account, which is currently in TFS, as I just joined them after finishing my last KVK, which wasn't quite as active as I would like. So jump into a bit of a bigger server, especially one which is on the rebuild and will perform well. There's no doubt about it. It always has done. And then, yeah, most people bring their accounts in. So that's the project in light. If you want to join this project, you're excited, there will be a link in the description, or you can drop me a message. You can drop me a message on Discord, or my account here, drop me a message in game, and I'll get you invited. If you have any questions, of course, do the same thing. And then it leads me on to the last thing, YouTube. What on earth are we doing? What will I do? What is the plan? How far will I take it? Who knows? I don't know. This is mainly built for the project. It's built to highlight the project's success. It's built to also make guides for the newer players. The YouTube for Call of Dragons is quite old when it comes to guides. They are becoming 2 years old, 2 years plus. It'll be nice to do a bit of fresh guides, especially for the newer players, rather than doing ones which are old where the fundamentals and mechanics of the games are changing slightly and things are a little different. What worked before might not work as well nowadays. So it'd be good to build a new guide for the newer players. As I mentioned, it will highlight the project which is going on, and I will stream all wars on here. So if I'm fighting in wars, or if I'm just merit gaining in Abyss or Roots of War, then I may be streaming it on here, depending on how it is exactly. But I do intend to be active on here. But how far we take it, we do not know. We do not know. We will find out. If we take it all the way and it becomes a thing where it's quite regular, great. If not, no worries. This is not a big project I want to be forcing myself to do on YouTube. I will do this because I want to enjoy it and I want to put some content out there and I want to highlight certain things, not because I feel like I have to do it. Once it gets to that point, most people won't really enjoy it anyways. So, that is a quick video on what to expect on the project, Crowned in Blood, and LeLeeson's YouTube channel. I appreciate all the support. If you can leave me a like, thumbs up, subscribe, go for it. If you want to speak to me in game, Discord, go for it. Game ID name is there, and then my Discord will be down in below. Thank you for joining, and hope you have a wonderful day. Ciao, ciao.